Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, Nomad Pack, back at it again. Part 2, I decided to make this a 1 and 2 part. Part 1 and 2, because I didn't want this to be a whole hour and some change, almost 2 hour long fiasco is another reason why I decided to make a part 1 and 2. Also, because you know how it is, the TikTok brains and whatnot, people not having the patience. So I figured I would break it up into pieces in half 1 and 2. I digress. Let's finish and unpack this thing and give our final 2 cents on this whole fiasco
Now,
and debate.
I was born in New York City, and I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, and I had to go home from school when Sandy Hook happened, that school shooting.
And you support a Democrat talking point.
Okay,
You know,
and people
all I
like
did,
you said they were
all I
crisis
did-
actors.
You know, all I did was interview a few people that said it didn't happen. I had a few debates. Google searches from when it happened to when they sued me didn't exist.
I'm only
Here's
bringing
the-
this up because you want to
They
do ad
just
hom
brought
attacks.
it up as a way to demonize me. They raised $300 million.
You're the
in
one
fundraising
demonizing
off
me and calling me a jihadist terrorist. Do you want to actually talk about an issue, or do you just want to chimp out and yell the whole time? Do you want to
Oh,
talk?
chimping out. Yes. Yeah,
You are.
really out.
You are chipping out. I mean, for a white nationalist, you're chipping out crazy.
Great. Here's the difference. Intellectual gravitas and tens of millions of people that support me behind it.
Okay, great. Congratulations. So do you want to protect the West or not? Do you want to have this conversation?
Well, to be fair, Sneako, he's kind of throwing stones in his glass house because he's done plenty of that, not just of recently, but before, like the whole situation with the whole nightclub fiasco, the club accost thing, and I kind of mentioned it before in a previous video, but when people were kind of it wasn't bad taste on either side, but when your so-called friends like Andrew Tate and whatnot, is how he put it, was throwing him under the bus and whatnot, which Andrew and the Tates had nothing to do with that, but they were also didn't care at the time either. But when the feet were held to the fire, they threw him under the bus, which I will say wasn't completely fair because he wasn't all alone in that. Now, for us, it's just music or so, but I can understand if it is in our club, bar, whatever, and you don't have a stake or own it, then people are just going to say we don't want to deal with all this issues and fiasco and ban you. Now, I digress. It's whatever to me. However, certain people aren't going to take it that way. Especially all that stuff is going to be bad for business. They just want to be neutral and enjoy whoever is coming in there buying up sections and drinks and enjoying themselves. Now, among other things, too, like when him and Nick Fuentes had the beef and they finally stopped being friends as well, he apparently didn't take too kindly to that as well. That definitely really hurt him. But then again, Sneako wasn't being all that fair either. So let's keep that a stack. And then, it's just the whole thing. Especially, he's been really trying to get under Andrew Tate's skin when he decided he didn't want to be friends with him, when he was trying to be like a Andrew Tate Jr. and copying a lot of his stuff. But when Andrew Tate says, yeah, I don't want to hang out with you, you're weird and shit like that, when the Tates decide they wanted nothing to do with you after a while, and finally seeing just the trouble that it's been causing hanging around you and the stupid takes as well that they may say or not, they were like, yeah, nah, we're good, bro. You do you, we're gonna do us. And then it's a whole fiasco in general. Not saying I'm taking sides here. I'm just saying that you kind of weren't too happy about that, and you, quote-unquote, crashed out or chimped out there, and you're still talking about the Tates. Either way, it's like, even if they got their name in my mouth, I would rather not even deal with it and just do my own content and my own thing. If so-called friends of mine who were big online gave me bullshit, I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm done hanging out with you. Do you, I'm going to do me. Keep talking about me all I want. I'm just going to turn that hate into positivity and have the people that watch you come to me because they'll see, wow, you actually ain't as cool as all that. Why you keep talking about them or so, you know? I bet you it's probably working that way too. Who knows? Anyway, I digress.
Oh, yes, sir. I want to protect the West.
Because you can see that deporting me is stupid. I'm exercising my First Amendment rights. I'm practicing freedom of religion, and I'm not declaring war. You're the one declaring a cultural war, whatever. I don't want war. I'm against it. So you want to protect the West. What is the number one issue? Who is dragging us into these wars that destroy the West, Alex?
Israel and
There
the
you go.
Jewish
Okay.
charities.
What propaganda do they use to get Americans to support?
Is this a rare moment where they're actually going to have an agreement on something or so? We shall see.
They say that Iran wants to destroy them, so they've got to do that. Well, they blamed Iraq with WMDs, which was a lie. They on the Project for the American Century from April 2000, cooked up by Netanyahu and neocons in the Bush administration before they got in.
Bingo.
Was to stage a 9/11 attack that would, quote, kill 3,000 people as a pretext to take down 7 Muslim nations and establish a greater Israel. For a Pax Americana, Iran would be the final country to fall. Wesley Clark also exposed that, and I exposed it back at the time.
Bingo.
Before
So
9/11.
essentially, they demonize Muslims and they say radical Islamic terrorists. They use words like jihadist, the one you're saying right now. They demonize Muslims to justify war and say that there's a war on terror that needs to happen, and Muslims are blowing things up. You were one of the first people to expose that 9/11 was a lie. Clearly, you know that there's an overwhelming amount of propaganda towards Muslims that justify war. So,
Be that as it may, they are not helping when they come to the countries in Europe, like I said before, in UK and whatnot, causing all the issues and causing a lot of problems. They definitely don't help their case and, you know, actually have a good standing ground showing, hey, look, we're victims to this or that. Look what these people are doing. Look what's going on here. Look at all this trouble and whatnot. We have to come over here and seek sanctuary, just like with the whole thing with the Russian and Ukraine war. Ukraine, even though Zelensky is making Ukraine look bad right now and being a bad leader and not trying to give some give and takes here, which, like it or not, you're running away and hiding somewhere and vacating the throne. So it should be, no matter how modern we get, should be, oh, if you run away and vacate the throne, that means it's up for grabs. Anybody can take it. A Ukrainian should stand up and try to say, fuck Zelensky in this election. I'm claiming the throne. If he has a problem, then he could come here and fight me. Otherwise, I want this shit to stop. I'm taking over. Like this one chick who seems based wanted to take over because she got sick of all this fighting and people dying. I forget her name, but this Ukrainian woman wanted to say, forget the elections, it's all out war. So how about I'm going to take over, probably take over the throne, whatever you want to call it, and then we could negotiate. What are we going to do here to fix this issue so we could stop fighting amongst ourselves and actually come up with a thing? Now, you may have invaded us or so. That definitely doesn't sit well with me. However, I'm not going to keep shedding blood when I can still walk away with a good chunk of my country, and then we could prepare ourselves if you guys aren't happy with that and want to keep fighting. So let's work out some deal for right now and call it peace. And if you want to come at us again, then we could be ready and be prepared. I digress. I already don't like that in general. This whole thing with Russia, Ukraine hasn't helped a lot of things. I am against all of that shit. However, Zelensky definitely pushed a lot of buttons and fucking pretty much came about it himself that this whole thing started way before all this 2 years ago. So he definitely didn't help the case when it first fully started. And under Biden's administration, mind you, as well. Either way, the best thing to do is it's like that one scene, and this is probably not the best example, one scene in The Mummy. Live today, fight tomorrow, but hopefully there won't be no fighting tomorrow. You got the border parts. How about we negotiate since you took the border parts of Ukraine? Just take them, whatever the hell, stop expanding, leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. But if you keep wanting to expand, then we're just going to have to arm up and take whatever weapons and gear we get from America, and we're just going to keep at it again. So how do you want to handle this? But Zelensky is being stubborn and stupid, thinking he's got a leg to stand on. At least when we're not giving it away, we're selling him shit. I don't think either way that's settling anything. Of course, it would look bad if Trump decided to fully cut him off like he originally wanted to do. But I guess we're selling it, making the money. However, I just hope it's worth it. At least we're not giving shit for free anymore, and including money. Even a lot of Europe, apart from England, and that's getting tired and sick of it. Like the Italian PM or president, even she's sick of this shit already. I couldn't blame her. Anyway, I digress. I'm just saying, try to find better solutions and learn when you don't have a good full deck of cards to fully stop this, and then be prepared in case this isn't good enough and they still want to keep expanding in your country. Don't give up, mind you, but also don't give up, don't be a pushover, but also quit while you're ahead as well, and be prepared and brace for possibly a next battle or so if they're not happy with it in general. Anyways, I'm just getting off on a tangent here. Let's go ahead and finish this.
And repeat that exact propaganda that drags us into these endless wars that destroy the West that you love so much.
All right, let me answer your question. It's a false equivalent. Islam is expansionist. We need to control the immigration from the countries. We need to not incentivize and let jihadis run around and let all this foreign money out of.
You're not answering the question.
Let me finish. $20-something billion a year out of Qatar and all the rest of it. I'm against the Israeli money, the Qatari money, the Chinese money, the EU money, the globalist money, the Rothschild money, the BlackRock money, all of this stuff coming in and controlling us. Islam is one of the things, one of the heads on the hydra that I cover. So let me finish. Israel sits there and twists what Iran does. Some of it's true. Iran is 90 million people. They're horizontally set up. They're not going to fall. It's going to destroy the economy. It's a trap for the midterms. It's for Israeli expansion. And so I'm against that, and I was against attacking Iran, and I was against Midnight Hammer, and I said this would get us into a full war. So just because Israel uses that, their own false equivalent, to say, support us, we're fighting Islam, when really they stir up Islam, they founded Hamas, Netanyahu doubled their payments, he ordered the stand down October 7th. Now he's using what's left of Hamas to not let them set up a legitimate government. Israel's admitted 20 years ago in the news that, we put Hamas in so the Muslims would be violent, so that we'd have a pretext to destroy them. Now Turkey and Israel overthrew 2+ years ago Syria. They put the leader of Al-Qaeda in charge. I'm totally against that. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I hear that, especially with the whole stupid situation in Syria when Bashar al-Assad had to run away to Russia after that. But at least with him, the difference is he's not trying to send mercenaries and that to go after the new leader compared to, or use his own people that are still loyal to him, kind of like what Zelensky's doing. At least he fully understands, and I admire and appreciate that. I lost. I vacated the throne and ran away. Now I'm not king anymore. I guess I'm just going to have to reset up and stay here since Russia is my friend. I'm going to go stay there and hang out with them. And he still isn't bitching or crying about it, or still trying to cause issues as far as I know. So I admire that. But still, Syria's in a fucked up place now that they put that new guy in. Yes, he's more favorable to America and whatnot. However, I just hope we don't start giving a lot of taxpayer money in that. I know we were definitely one of the ones that were responsible for that whole thing. And I disagree with it too, and I agree with Alex Jones on that, especially that sometimes we just gotta leave well enough alone, and if our friends, allies, etc. want to fight amongst each other, let them, but don't start taking sides. Just be like, I'm neutral, I don't care. You guys want to cause issues, fine, but don't come begging and crying us when you bite off more than you could chew. And other countries would tell us the same thing. Let's keep it a stack. Like when we wanted England, NATO is a waste of money and time, not mind you, but when we wanted England, France, and other countries to assist us, and they said no, fair enough, when we were helping Israel with Iran. But at the least of the thing is my thing, even though I fully disagree with this whole war, just like Alex Jones and others. At least since we're paying and we're fucking watching and protecting your asses as much as you don't want to admit that, at least let us use the airspace and shit. Because, yeah, you don't need to get involved, but at least let us use fucking airspace. That's the one thing I really disliked about that. Like I said, I get they don't, and I would be the same way too. I wouldn't want to get involved and send my military and my wonderful men and women, soldiers, etc. into a freaking buzzsaw. I would at least say, I'm not going to get involved, but if you want to use some of our equipment or use the airspace and whatnot, go ahead. We're not going to stop you. Just keep this shit away from us. You handle your business, and we're just going to mind our business and go from there. A lot of countries, though, kind of need the Strait of Hormuz right now compared to America. Like, we rely on some of it, but not as much as these other countries do. So, at the very least, you should have let people use the airspace. I digress, though, besides the point.
Operation Ajax, the CIA and British intelligence overthrew Mohammed Mossadegh, who was pro-Western in Iran. They then worked with the Ayatollahs to actually help them come to power. They did the Iran-Contra deal with them. And so expansionist Islam at its highest levels isn't controlled by the West, but works with them and is just as Machiavelli, just like Jimmy Carter helped set up.
Okay. You're going on tangents. So
No. I'm saying Israel works with Orthodox Islam, and they all double deal.
Israel is allied with Orthodox Islam.
You know, Israel founded Hamas, right?
Yes, Netanyahu gave them $35 million. They created Hezbollah too. They create Hezbollah too. They create the terrorist groups that they demonize.
It's crazy. If that's the case, it's like, I don't know what the validity is to that, but if that's true, it's like, you're really going to give $35 million to potential terrorist cells to go up? I mean, we recently just got rid of most of ISIS in that, well, a couple years ago. We got rid of that fiasco, but lo and behold, you're going to cause a new one. It's like, if you really did that, look how that worked out for you. It's like trying to adopt a bunch of freaking aggressive pit bulls in a way. This is a whole different argument here. I know, different thing, but the context is relatively the same. It's like adopting vicious dogs like pit bulls that were in fights and whatnot at an adoption center, and then when they go all crazy and try to nip or pick at you and get aggressive, it's like, well, what the hell did you expect? You got these from a shelter at a person that was breeding them to be fighting dogs, and they have that instinct in them already, but now it's just turned up because some of them got rescued, and now you get them from a shelter. It's like, well, what the hell do you expect to happen? Anyways, I digress, but here's hoping they clean up that mess, if that's the case, because this whole shit needs to stop on both. Both sides need to cut their shit, or one of them's got to fight till they win King of the Hill or grab the crown, whoever wins that fight, but it could have all been avoidable to a good degree.
Qatar made Netanyahu 2 years before October 7th sign an agreement and admit he was giving them money, but he wanted to hide it to give to Hamas to carry out what they did, and they thought they had a deal with him.
Let's stay on track. So the major issue, because you brought up the Rothschilds, BlackRock, Netanyahu, Israel takes the majority of our tax dollars to bring us into endless wars, correct? Let's be simple.
I've said this. Israel currently is the most dangerous, dominant group.
Bingo.
With Section 224 of the NDAA Defense Authorization Act that says dozens of times, integrate, merge, lifetime feeds, marry the U.S. military. That's been Netanyahu and his surrogates. Mark Levin, all of them, marry, and the U.S. ambassador, or the Israeli ambassador to the U.S., is really what he is, Mike Huckabee. We're going to take the whole Middle East. Israel's going to take over. We'd rather live in the Middle East. We owe everything to Israel. Yeah, it's a cult.
Okay.
They, right now, to secure control of our foreign policy, are openly primarying everybody like Nancy, and now saying, we're the masters of the universe, that's a quote, and we're going to run you, and we're going to control you. And Netanyahu 2 years ago proposed shipping the Gazans to Europe and the U.S.
Right.
So yeah, we destroy their countries and then ship a bunch of pissed off Muslims over.
Right. Endless wars.
Nobody said Muslims aren't victims of Israel. Nobody.
You're against the Gaza genocide because some people are now saying that they don't care and that they want Americans to be kicking butt and committing the genocide. You're against the Gaza genocide?
No, I don't. No. When I say a new crusade, I mean cultural. Not putting up with the Islamic expansion, shutting down the immigration.
Okay.
I do not believe in genociding Muslims because most Muslims are not even bad people and are very nice people. It is the jihadis, as the UAE has pointed out, that are coming into the West.
Okay, there's a lot of things. I'm trying to stay on track. What does jihad mean, Alex?
Jihad means following God's orders and carrying out the holy war. There's
No.
family, there's political,
No.
there's charity,
No.
and there's military.
No, it doesn't. Jihad means the struggle of faith.
No,
Smiling.
and the struggle of faith is the types of jihads. You're playing
Okay,
games.
do you want to see jihad right now, Alex? Smiling. Struggle of faith, doing what's right.
Is he gonna really play stupid there? Like I said, I'm like, you could get freaking good amount of coverage and or what's going on when you look at what's going on in Western Europe, among other things too. Like, come on, Sneako, don't play stupid. That's when I'm like, yeah, you're playing a little stupid there. Let's keep it a stack. You should know you're based, right? You should know. Not for nothing, you keep talking about this stuff on your channels on Kick and whatnot, YouTube as well. Come on, I know you ain't trying to play dumb. Come on. I know, and I admire and respect that you are doing your best to follow to the religion to a T, even though that's been debated. However, you got to keep it a stack and call out the negativity that's been going on within the community. Christians got to do that as well. Let's keep it a stack.
Doing what God wants.
But when you sit there and lie about that, saying, oh, it's this, yeah, maybe you are, but others don't, and you got to call it out and say, yeah, this is what we got to do, smile and actually be unified and try to create unity and peace.
To do with jihad. Not watching porn. Being a good person. This is all jihad. They take these words and they misconstrue them to confuse people and get them afraid of Muslims to justify their wars. If you don't want the West to be destroyed, then don't echo their propaganda. You understand that Alex, 1 second, you went on for a long time. Alex, hold on.
Muhammad was dead, they'd taken over with Saudi Arabia.
Alex, hold on a second.
100 years later, they had most of the Middle East and parts of Africa and expanded all over the place.
Okay,
Islam launched the war. You started the fight. You started the fight 1,400 years ago, pal.
A crusade. Alex, let's stay on point. Okay, the Iraq War was a mistake, correct? Weapons of mass destruction, they didn't exist, right?
Yeah, and that was to take out a former CIA operative who'd actually been put in there and launched the
You don't just need to like
war.
repeat stuff you memorized. Weapons of mass destruction.
No,
that was the pretext of the Iraq War. They were not found.
That was wrong. I didn't say Israel and the globalists are going and blowing up the Muslims and attacking them, and then you having the Jewish and Catholic charities ship them all in here pissed off, so then they can have Chertoff put naked body scanners in and grab our kids' testicles and vaginas at the airport.
You good?
Yeah. Are you good? Are you chipping out?
I'll be honest, that was really random and funny. Whether there's true validity to that part or not, but I think he's speaking facts or so, even if there's not much evidence against it. We have to see until I see otherwise, then maybe say what you want, like I said about Alex, but he is a really funny guy. Funnier than him.
Okay.
Oh, you just got slogans, man. I am pissed off. They brought in a bunch of radical, pissed off Muslims to create a crisis so they can take our liberties and freedoms and bring in all the Palantir surveillance. I understand the Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution.
Okay. We need to establish some things if we want to have a conversation. What is the Muslim...
You establish the rules of the game.
The Muslim population in America is 1.3%. Only 8% of the immigrants are Muslim. It's predominantly coming in from Catholics, from Mexico, Hindus from India, and the Chinese. Elon Musk, the guy that's amplifying you, is behind this. He banned a lot of people for opposing his H-1B visas. His team is predominantly comprised of Indians through H-1B visas. They made it clear, and Trump just said, that he wants to go to war to defend India. They're okay with immigration. They're not anti-immigration. They only pretend to be by demonizing.
Yeah, I would hope we don't mess with Pakistan, because unlike Iran, they actually do have nukes, and we're already dealing with a lot of trouble from the ballistic missiles itself. And who knows if Pakistan might have some of them. But you shouldn't mess with a country that has nukes, because they're not going to go down just like that. They're going to be like, oh, if I can't have it, nobody can. Or if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Bang. Just like if we mess with North Korea, it'd be the same thing. Yeah, don't be stupid there. As much as I don't like her, whatever, with Pakistan, don't go picking fights when it's unnecessary either way.
Muslims. The Iraq War, you said this was all a lie. There were no weapons of mass destruction. George Bush said war on terror, war on terror. Turns out there were no weapons of mass destruction.
Mission accomplished. All
this
that,
war was a lie. What? And you're much older than me. Throughout the entire 2000s, what were they saying? Radical Islamists, jihadists, terrorists, they're taking over. But if you look at the country, nobody's trying to bring Sharia law. You couldn't name anybody.
So here's the thing. You're
Muslims, let me
me.
finish. Muslims are 1.3% of the population. The war on terror, that was a complete farce. Netanyahu himself said that he was one of the pioneers of the word terrorist. If I say the word terrorist, people know what that is. They know what it looks like. They don't know the definition. Just like the word jihad, which you don't know the definition of.
Yes, I did.
So, no, you
That's
didn't know
a
what
lie.
the definition of jihad was.
I'm lying.
So don't repeat the
I said
exact
it's the forms
propaganda.
of practicing Islam.
If you
and
want
I
to
listen to the groups.
If you want
I listen to them.
If you, Alex, if you want to protect
You
your
even said I didn't know what God's will was. Listen, let me make my point here.
you made a lot of points. Let me finish real quick, and then you can go. Is that fair? You've talked most of the time. If you want to stop the endless wars, if you want to protect your demographic, if you care about Christian values, then looking at the Muslims who are 1.3% of the population in America, when we believe Jesus is the Messiah, we believe in the Immaculate Conception, we believe in the Virgin Mary, we believe that Jesus will return. Maybe focusing an energy and saying that you're going to declare a culture war on Muslims is a distraction. Maybe that's not helping the cause. Maybe saying, oh my God, they're trying to take over when there's not a sort of mass immigration coming here from Muslims at all. This is helping the Israelis that are destroying the West and not actually helping you. If you want to protect your demographics, then stop repeating what they want you to say. Don't say jihadist and don't call me a terrorist. Call for my deportation when I'm exercising my free speech rights. You are playing into their hand. And if you want to talk about the immigration in Europe, why do all these immigrants go into the UK? They come in predominantly from Syria, from Afghanistan, from Iraq.
He's got some points there, but I will say you got to still call out the bad apples that are causing these issues, just like how people do with Christians, among other people, because you can't not call them out. And also, too, that's their fault because they are voting in idiots who believe in open borders and no vetting. That's their problem and fault. Maybe wake up the liberals and tell the liberals no and outvote them and say you're freaking stupid. We're not going to keep voting and getting in these people. We're going to vote this and we're going to keep making fun of you till you start to see why we can't have socialist commie-crats is what I call it, or idiot politicians in general, why we shouldn't vote for them. Don't vote Labor Party. Vote for another party that's going to benefit more of the people born and raised here and that crack down on crime on either side. Because we can't have this where it's only crackdown crime on the regular people that were born and raised there and not illegal immigrants. We were having that problem with Biden, and we got rid of Biden, and we got Trump in. As much as he had his issues and made some stupid moves, at least he's actually doing something about it. You know, say what you want, but I always say this, just like that one person said, at least we're doing something about it.
Brock?
Yeah, I know they're refugees.
These are refugees that are the result of these endless wars that the Israelis create. And the propaganda that they feed good Americans and brainwash us with is that radical Muslims are taking over. So don't play into their hand and repeat these. Don't repeat and echo these fear-mongering lies that only help them out and destroy your demographic. If you care about Americans, you care about whites, and you care about Christians.
You repeated that 8 times. Why'd you say in that viral video that we're going to, the cities are all going to be like this if God wills it? Because the Muslims vote as a bloc, and you've got Europe on average is about 8% Muslim now in many of the areas. In the cities, 20, 30, 40%. It's the dominant group now in the voting bloc. Why do we have Sadiq Khan in London? Why do we have Mondami in New York?
You're asking me a lot of questions. Do you want me to answer?
No. I'm stating, no. The Muslims are the swing vote, and they know that with the Democrat Socialists to be able to dominate. And I could play you thousands of imams in Dearborn, Michigan, and Houston, Texas, and everywhere else in Plano, Texas, saying we're taking over. And everybody sees those videos, buddy. Just like when you said we're taking over, and now you're in the, I'm a victim. Come on, you're being mean to us.
I didn't say that.
You have been a victim of the neocons in Israel, okay? And that's
wrong.
And
of Elon Musk, the globalist that you're allying with, who's bringing in H-1B, is the richest man in the world.
I like the fact
trillionaire.
that he's pro-free speech. I don't agree with everything that Elon Musk does.
You don't want free speech if you want me deported for using my free speech. You're against it.
Listen, you go back.
It sounds like you were demonizing Black Lives Matter. You kind of sound like a woke liberal.
Said that I want to
you kind of sound like a woke liberal with the woke mind virus. If you want me deported for using my free speech.
Yeah, I responded to that.
Yeah, because you're actually using the strongest form of censorship. If now the richest man in the world is saying that I should be deported for free speech, especially when he's an African migrant. So if you actually want to protect it,
Listen,
that doesn't
what
seem
we're
to...
saying is...
If you ask me a question, why did I say this? Why you asked me a question, why did I say that?
Dude, we know your plan.
You asked me a question.
We've got your Quran, and I'm telling you, you're going to lose. Okay?
You asked me a question. No one here... This is the PSYOP. This is what they plan to do, is pin the Christians and Muslims against each other so that they can repeat their endless wars. It worked before. Don't let it work again, Alex, if you're opposing the Iran war.
No, I'm not supporting Israel and going to war for them.
No, you are supporting Israel. You are supporting Israel.
I'm not in bed with you and the Democrat, Socialist, and Black Lives Matter that you supported and all the stuff.
You can tell by some of the argument here, like he's trying to get a little bit of the argument he's saying, and he's already said pretty much the same thing a couple times, but now he's getting some of that libtard in him. Is like, oh, if you say this, you sound like a woke liberal, you sound like that. Well, he's not the one supporting BLM, one of the protesters groups that have been causing a lot of issues, like Minnesota, mind you, destroying the buildings and whatnot. So it's funny, you're poking him and trying to see what sticks there. However, you were basically guilty of it when you painted that shit on your neck and whatnot, and painted it on your face and said you support them. So, like I said, throwing some stones in a glass house there. I digress.
You're the woke liberal trying to get me censored. If you say,
no, I've seen you say we were going to be violent.
I saw you say that the crisis actors in Sandy Hook, and look what happened. If you want to do ad hom, so let's stay on point.
Oh my God, Sandy Hook! Oh God,
let's stay on point. Let's stay on point. I went home from school that day actually because you're talking about my childhood. You said, why did I say?
Did I hurt you as a little baby?
You said, why did I say, if God wills it?
Am I a bad guy? Hurt you?
Okay, Alex.
Did I do something to your poopy?
Well, no, you got the trillionaire to try to put a target in my head. So yeah, well done.
Oh my
well
goodness!
Done. Well done.
Just showing your teeth.
Well done.
Throat slitting and.
Well, they don't cry about white genocide. Don't cry about.
He is seeming like he's in his feelings right now. Now, if anyone doesn't matter if you have the money or not. If anyone was gonna get deported first, let's keep it a stack. It would be Elon, even though, like him or not, I personally like him. I don't agree with a lot of things he would say or so, but he did take over Twitter and gave us free speech there and that, so I fucks with him. You know, he's alright. He's alright. I fucks with him. He's cool. Even though I disagree with some of his points, I give props and respect to that. But also, too, if anyone, like I said, was going to get deported first, if we went the extreme route, it would be him over you, because you were born and raised here. Elon is not. So people can say deport all they want, but if you're born and raised here, like it or not, even if the government likes it or not, they're stuck with you. Born and raised on the land, so yeah. Especially if your parents were born and raised too, then it makes it even way harder to just deport and go all 1600s Salem witch trials, all that shit, if we were to go that extreme of a route. So let's keep it a stack and let's not be ridiculous here.
I'm your friend. Hey, the Quran isn't a battle manual to take over. Come on, there's no imam saying that.
I don't want to hear you cry about your demographic replacement. Oh no, America's getting destroyed. Oh no, the globalists are taking over. Oh no, America's getting replaced.
It's our world right to dominate the planet. No.
Oh no, the West is getting taken over. Oh no, there's immigrants here. Oh no, immigrants are here from the wars that I caused.
Over Spain for 700 years.
Immigrants come in from the wars I caused.
And Hollywood allied with you. Oh, the Crusades just attacked the poor little Muslims.
I didn't say any of that. You're arguing with your own head, Alex. You're going delusional.
I said Hollywood does that. I just said Hollywood does that. I didn't say.
You said Chi-Coms control Hollywood. Didn't you say the Chi-Coms control Hollywood and not Jewish supremacists?
No, what I said in the full clip was I read a Wall Street Journal article about how China, was like the 10 biggest Hollywood production companies had bought a controlling interest in 6, and China admits they're funding a lot of the anti-Western, anti-white.
And let's look at Canada, the whole situation there. I think I respect and admire what China has made of their country with them being really technological and stuff like that, but I don't like the whole thing with trying to gain the influence of that within Canada and other parts they invest in, and now here supposedly, not just with the farming and whatnot, but I guess if that's the case, if the Wall Street Journal did say that, yeah, I don't like that part, and there's got to be a controlled amount of controllability of how much an outside country and influence, etc., can have influence, because let's be honest, Hollywood is fucked as it is, and I don't know if they're gonna make it better. So, but if they're gonna make it worse, then that's gonna be shit for our movie production. If they put more political propaganda, because we're not trying to deal with political propaganda every fucking time in a movie. Like, look how Supergirl went. I wonder if they had something to do with that. I don't know how much validity it is. I mean, if the Wall Street Journal says it's true, then yeah, I disagree with that part. But if it was a problem, then Trump's got to crack more down on that. Because, yeah, we shouldn't let outside countries in that don't have a stake and allegiance to a degree to this country. We should really make sure they do. Otherwise, they shouldn't be allowed to own like a good controlling majority of investment of what they buy or own. And within that regard, not just farming and that, but movie and other production in America. I mean, look at Canada. But that's a lot of their fault, too. At least a few regions in Canada. Luckily, Alberta is still based.
Propaganda. China is heavily
I digress.
allied with Hollywood, and they're
China is
anti-American.
allied with Hollywood. This is why the demographics are
China's not
changing.
involved in the universities.
This
of the
is
Confucius
why.
Society.
This is why the West is getting
China's not
replaced.
involved in Hollywood. China doesn't control and own big parts of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Alex Jones just
The Chinese.
China doesn't. Are you kidding me?
The Chinese. I mean, this is why the West is changing, because when you spread these lies that the Chinese control Hollywood, people get confused and you mix the truth with
Hey,
lies.
Sneako.
You say some
Hey,
things
Sneako.
that are true and say 10
Sneako,
lies.
that's an old white supremacist attack on me that I cover China. I mean, look at brain dead Mitch McConnell and his wife flees to China, who's a known Chi-Com agent. And you look at Fang and Swallowswell and all the Chinese spies.
You're going on tangents again.
Are you saying China, geopolitically, is not our main military adversary? It is not the main spy force?
I didn't say
Israel
that. I said China does not predominantly control Hollywood. I didn't say anything about...
I'm going to say this very slowly to you.
You said two separate
I'm going to say
things.
this very slowly. Wall Street Journal, like 15 years ago, did an article about how China bought a controlling interest of 6 of the 10 top Hollywood production companies. I didn't say they were the producers. I didn't say that they were the directors. That's mainly Jews. And I said that in the full show.
So just
just
say
like
that.
I did an hour on atrazine
just say
with
that.
scientific studies and clips, and then said, I don't want them putting chemicals in the water, turn the friggin' frogs gay. The media only showed that 10-second
I
clip,
love that
not me
meme.
showing all the studies. Of course, I was proven right.
Yeah, kind of
So-
like you.
He
when
was
you
right
flip up
about
everything
that,
and
as
try to
much
make
as the idiot liberal says they aren't. He isn't. I love that meme. They're turning to freaking frogs gay, and lo and behold, they are.
down.
Are you?
The chemicals at least mess them up to think that way. Like, I don't know what kind of chemicals, I forget which one, but I think one of the ones for birth control is poor froggies.
You saying China does not have a controlling interest? I don't know what it is now. In a lot of U.S. media.
Of course, but it's predominantly Jewish supremacists, and you're messing up the conversation by redirecting it
I
towards
constantly
Chinese.
talk about the anti-Western, anti-white,
If
anti-Christian
you
stuff
want
in
to
Hollywood.
protect this country, then talk about the main issue, Alex. Don't just get it twisted with a bunch
Oh,
of
you're
nonsense.
doing like Dan Bilzerian did, saying Nick Fuentes doesn't go on Piers Morgan and big shows and talk about Israel when he does. That's just not true. That's this thing of I talk more about Israel than you do. No, I just talk about all the major power blocks in the world. That's what I do.
And you're confusing
China-
people when you say
China-
globalist Chi-Coms.
Anybody
Just
watching
like,
can type in Chinese interest in Hollywood production companies. China funding anti-American stuff. China taking over U.S. Universities via the Confucius Institutes. That's a whole other subject. China putting kill
it
switches
is.
in U.S.
It
computers.
is. It's a whole
While-
other subject. Let's stick to the main subject that's destroying our
No,
country.
you created a straw man that I said China controls Hollywood. I said
I didn't say
China
it's strawman. I
buying
said
up
that you're
Hollywood.
confusing the conversation. You're just making people focus on things that are not extremely important. The most important issue.
No, I didn't bring up China in this conversation. You just did.
You brought up a million things in 5 seconds because you don't want to stick to one topic because you just want to misdirect
No,
the
you're
entire
not
time.
controlling the debate is what's happening here.
That's true. He's not doing a good job at it. If they want to have a real debate, why don't they have a moderator help moderate it that's neutral? Like, that's why a lot of debates could go haywire, not for nothing. It just came out of the fly. Came out of the gate. Just rush in. He even recommended, let's take 3 minutes. You want to do this 3-minute part debate? He said no. So actually, it seemed like he was already having a better control than Sneako did. He recommended, oh, do you want to do this 3-minute thing first? You want to have 3 minutes doing a debate with one another? Like we get 3 minutes apiece. And he said no.
The debate is about you calling for my deportation. The debate is about you called for my deportation.
Israel worked with Hitler, the Zionists worked with Hitler to not let any Jews get out that wouldn't give them part of the money, the Zionists, and give the rest to Hitler. Madeleine Albright's dad was one of the main guys that ran it. George Soros was a low-level guy who went around finding hidden Jews to get their money.
I had the sneeze.
They worked with Hitler to only let Jews get out to what was going to become Israel. Israel hired top SS officers to set up the Mossad, and they hired top Nazi assassins to set up the Mossad, and they never really hunted down Nazis, just like the U.S. government shipped them over here. And then Israel blew up synagogues all over Spain and all over the Middle East to blame it on Muslims to then get Jews to immigrate to Israel. And Israel founded and created Hamas. And Israel works with Al-Qaeda and gave them field hospitals. And so see, that what I'm saying is secretly behind the evil scenes, you've got Islam working with Israel in a big sick plan.
Islam's working with Israel?
Yeah, not Iran.
Islam's working with Israel.
Definitely Saudi Arabia.
I'm not trying to get a clip. Are you saying Islam
definitely UAE. Yeah, you didn't know
Islam
that?
works with Israel. The UAE is not representative of Islam. The UAE is not the caliphate.
Did Israel back Al-Qaeda in Syria?
Islam is not working with Israel. Islam is a religion. The people make mistakes. The leadership has clearly betrayed the Ummah. We agree. We know. But don't misconstrue it and say that these are the people that are taking... This is the government of...
Interesting tangent so far. Do let me know what you guys think so far in the comments on that whole debate tangent that Alex was talking about. Now, I don't know about some of that part. I kind of like the whole thing with World War II, Nazi Zionist. They really don't like World War II and all the actions there, and they really have museums dedicated on that, like the one when they talk about the Holocaust Museum in Israel. That one, you kind of lost me there. I'm not saying it's completely untrue, but I would have to research that. Now, that is so far until I see some true validity and research to that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I digress, though. Let's continue on, but that one, I gotta see some proof.
Islam when they don't follow Sharia law. The UAE, they have casinos in Dubai.
Sharia is the governance of Islam. You said I was wrong. You just said it yourself.
The UAE is the governance of Islam?
No, I just said Sharia.
Syria?
Sneaky.
Sharia is the...
Look, I know you think you're
what government are you... Okay, so you're afraid of Sharia law. What government is practicing Sharia law that's threatening America?
I said that's the governance of Islam is Sharia.
Right. What country is threatening America with this?
Oh, my God. Here in Austin, they handed out Qurans and had little girls wear hijabs without parents knowing and said you need to adopt Sharia.
Handing out Qurans is a...
They're the city councils trying to get Sharia. They have their own police forces.
That's kind of true with, like, the whole thing in Minnesota. Like, Ian Omar and the whole Somali daycare scams and that was going on. She even said, and she talked bad about freaking America, and that when she's hillbilly Somalian that married her brother. Freaking trashy person. But somehow she got a position in government power, which was a big mistake. A bit of Minnesota's fault there though, being hella libtarded. No wonder why a friend of mine moved the hell out of there and went to Alaska to work on that one job. Probably the best thing you could do besides... Minnesota kind of sucks anyway. It's way too cold for its own good. You're better off in Wisconsin if you don't want to go that far.
In Michigan, they were popping up saying Sharia. You said don't tell your story. I'm going to tell it. My wife was at HEB at like 9 o'clock at night a couple months ago, and a Muslim in a nightgown, wearing the traditional outfit, comes up and says, "You should not be out at night. You could get raped," and like got in her face and was yelling at my wife. I mean,
Hope she had a gun on her if
in the
he
UK,
did do
where they're
some
bitching
crazy
and saying,
shit.
Don't bring your dog to the park, and the liberals go, yes, we need to ban dogs. The Muslims don't like you. I don't trust anybody who doesn't like dogs. Sneako, what do you think of dogs?
I like dogs. Like, Alex, do you want to have
Then you're not a good Muslim.
The whole point of this conversation was that
you were violating what Muhammad said. Unless a dog is used for sheep herding, it is not halal. It is bad. I want you to reject Islam right now. I want you to get a nice French bulldog.
Okay, you could have a dog. It just doesn't need to be in the house.
I don't get the whole thing. I somewhat, but that's like a dumb woman thing with the French bulldogs. Like, yes, I could see some of the appeal, but they are so bad. The best dog for a man, Cane Corso, Kangol if they got the room and space, Caucasian Shepherd, those are amazing. You got your German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois if you got the space and energy, Bernese Mountain Dog. You got a lot of different options there. However, yeah, I think he was being funny with the French Bulldog thing.
Licking your face in your bed. Just keep it outside. You can have a dog.
That's where I disagree. I don't get the whole thing with that, oh, keep a dog outside. They can't be inside. If you were going to have a dog outside, it would make more sense if you were a farmer and whatnot, but you're not a farmer. And having it herd sheep or other livestock. You just get the dog for companionship, entertainment or so. Not... That's why I disagree there. That's kind of silly in my opinion. I get the whole not licking your face thing because you know where that tongue could be, but... I digress. I just disagree with that.
If you want to know about Islam. The whole point
I
of
know. I just told you I know about Islam.
Okay, Alex.
I just said...
This is kind of I mean, what did you say on Joe Rogan? I'm kind of retarded. Like, this is kind of retarded right now. Like,
no, that was me quoting Socrates. Was it Aristotle? I know that I know nothing.
Okay, we're going all over the place. The whole point of this was that you called for my deportation because you're upset about what I said, and you asked a question and you went on.
Man, Elon Musk and Alex Jones and maybe others really got him triggered over this whole deportation thing. Like, damn, Sneako. I get they may have freaking rumpled your feathers, but are you really going to be all on that? Bro, I get it. That made you upsetty spaghetti. However, you shouldn't get that triggered at it because it's easier said than done. And then you could just say, oh, I exposed this and expose this person. And if anyone gets deported first, like I just mentioned earlier, would be Elon because he wasn't born and raised here. The only way you would get deported, though, is if you did a terrorist act or so and then you were labeled as that, like the Boston bombers or so and the people that go to Guantanamo Bay, among other places. I'm not going to... This is just going to be a whole tangent. I just wanted to state that right there. Okay, Nomad Pack, back at it.
A million tangents. You said, why did you say that you want people to become Muslim? For the same reason you say every knee will bow, every tongue confess. You want people to have goodness. I don't want to force anybody. I don't want to spread it by the sword.
You said every house will be under this.
Inshallah. Inshallah. God willing, people will know the truth. This is the same statement.
I like you. You have big balls.
He wanted to laugh there, but he didn't.
That's from Team America. He goes, I saw him drop fire on my goats. That's when I knew I'd do a jihad on their ass.
I mean, like, Al, do you be real for a second? I mean, you're a funny guy. Do you want to make a change? Like, do you want to use your platform for good?
I think I'm gonna be like Muhammad and have 30 black dudes ride me.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
Why did I almost spat out my drink? I decided to take a little swig right after he said that. Okay. Okay. I digress. I'm gonna get back into the video. I will say that's why he's funny. It's random out of nowhere. Very random. I don't know about the validity with that. However, you gotta admit, it's just, he could be funny when he comes up with these random things. I don't know if that's in the Quran or the Hadith. If so, that's very strange and weird, even though they already said they're not too fond of the LGBT as well as Abrahamic religions in general. I know Christianity, I'm going to be fair and say Christianity, of course, has their messed up verses and things in the Bible, their teachings and verses, even though they try to skate around it. But I will say that if that's true, that's one of the verses and teachings in the Bible, or the Quran or the Hadith, that they probably messed up on that one. I don't believe in the Abrahamic ones in general. Like I said, I'm a pagan, so I ain't got to worry about this. But okay, I digress. I'm not going to turn this into a theological thing. Back at it again. All right.
I want to make stupid insults. This is like saying that the Holy Spirit was going to, astaghfirullah, come on the Virgin Mary because you don't know how to translate or read it properly. You said it, you read it twice. You don't know anything about Islam, bro. You didn't know what jihad meant. I'll tell you about it if you want to know. Did you know that Jesus... So under Islam... Did you know that Jesus was Messiah?
Does it say in the writings that if you are a herder and there is no woman, you may take a sheep or a boy? Do they have the thing of the dancing boys in Islam?
Learning that you read the Quran on Facebook from Boomer Slop that programs evangelicals.
Boomer Slop.
Boomer Slop. Yeah, the boomers that are in mega churches saying, God bless those.
Did the mayors put all these mayors in Afghanistan?
You're going to interrupt me the whole time? You're going to interrupt me the whole time? This is the same Boomer Slop that convinces Americans that that convinces Americans that God must bless those that bless the state of Israel. This is what Mike Huckabee is saying. They're saying, I'm a mere goy.
I don't believe that. That's not in the Bible.
Ted Cruz is posting about the IDF on July 4th. Clearly, the influence is coming from one place.
Clearly, Netanyahu and all of them said in Huckabee that we owe Israel our existence, and all that's not true. I've covered it all.
Okay, and the American government, people like Randy Fine are saying ban Islam. Laura Loomer, Jigsaw, this lady is saying ban Islam. Why are
I heard you and Laura Loomer might be dating soon.
There's no...
I reacted to this clip when I streamed the other day. It still makes me crack up chuckle every time. Because I know those two have a beef. And it's kind of funny. It's like a little cute dynamic of like the high school people, like people in high school, like usually the girl that has a thing for the boy doesn't know how to express it, so she be means to him until he crashes out and then say, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you so mad, maybe I just like you or something. I digress either way.
No way you're even a serious person. Like, did you... Would you...
Oh, I'm not a serious person?
You do it, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Look, I don't know if Laura Loomer's... That has aura. That has aura. Become Muslim. Abdul Alex Jones. Inshallah, Alex Jones is Muslim.
Will you wear the burqa again? I saw you in that latest video where you're like wearing it like a woman.
It's a scarf. It's a scarf. It's wearing it like a woman. It's not a hijab. Also, how do nuns dress? You're like insulting the hijab. Trump is posting kindergarten girls.
Those are women that are chastened that have decided to go into that life.
Yeah. So are the hijabi girls.
Oh, they want to. Oh, so in Saudi Arabia, women don't have to wear the hijabs?
Yeah.
Well, since the crown prince started reform.
Yeah, it's a choice. Yeah. They choose to wear it. It's not a trash bag that they force people to wear. Women can choose to dress modestly.
Raped under Islam. Her word isn't taken as half of that as a man.
Her word is not taken half of that. Wait, so you want to be...
A woman's word in court is taken as half as strong as a man's.
Well, I mean, look at the West. You're complaining about the demographics being changed. Happy wife, happy life. How's that going? What's your birth rate looking like? How's feminism? How's liberalism going on? You want to protect America. How's that going for the white race right now?
Even though he's kind of have a point here, I will say when he dodged the question on that part before he flipped it. That kind of is not making your case real strong there, Sneako. I'm going to be honest, but I do agree with you on the whole feminism, Me Too thing being a problem and causing so much issues and making it bad on real victims that deal with that shit.
The liberal women supporting you.
Yeah, but how's that going for you? Because you hate Islam so much. Like, we could have 4 wives. The women are beneath the man. Well, not beneath, but the man is the leader.
Hey, don't worry.
The man is the leader in Islam. In a marriage, the man leads.
Liberal women start squirting when they hear you say they're beneath them. They love being cucked by you. They're just, here's the thing, the West has been too nice to women to the extreme. So
yeah, but you have no solution. But you have no solution to it.
Tell the white liberal blue-haired women, tell them you're beneath me, and they're just gonna have orgasms, just go, oh God, yeah.
Look, you have no solution to it. I mean, you're afraid of the hijab so much, but your birth rate's declining. Feminism's everywhere. There's more atheists than Christians in America. They don't practice any Christian values.
I got 4 children, and I think I'm gonna have probably 4 more. So don't worry.
That's great. Most of them don't, because liberalism is rampant. Because you guys are so afraid of Islam.
Yeah, well, I mean, I live by what I say. In fact, that's it. I'm having at least 10 more. But I admire Elon having 100 kids.
The majority of Western people that follow you, and the majority of the people that are afraid of Islam, they don't. Conservative values are decaying everywhere.
Yeah, because they're too busy watching football and living in their own world. Please don't equate the average, brain dead Westerner, what color they are, with me.
Okay, so what's the solution? Because Sharia law you're so afraid of, how are you going to solve this birth rate?
Man, all I know is I've been to Europe, I've been to London, I've been all over, and I've seen how the Muslims behave. I mean, I remember going to London like 20 years ago. I've been there before that. And I would just be shooting video of Big Ben, and Muslims would walk by and say, you don't video me, you blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I went, F you, they were used to, cucked British bowing down. They go, oh, God. And so...
You had no answer to what I said. I asked you, how are you going to solve the birth rate problem, and you just have no answer.
No, the answer is the great part is liberal leftists aren't having kids, so they're extincting themselves, no matter what color they are. And so we're speaking out, we're talking about it, and we're pushing that. But to say that the West is committing suicide because of decadence, that's a normal part of the cycle. We're coming out of that cycle in the 4th turning. Hard times make strong men make good times make weak men.
So you want to bring conservative values back, correct?
What I want to do is bring the life force back and realize where we are in the competing systems and expose the different competing systems so the general public can make a choice through free will what system they want to join.
Free will is...
That's a good one. I like that. We're cooking with that one so far. That's not bad. Could do a little more than just that, but so far that's not a bad start. Sneako's thing, however, it's against America and the Constitution. He says he's not about it, but then he's preaching Sharia thinking that's going to be the problem. No, it doesn't coexist with America, and Sharia law is not coming, so get that message out of your head now. Yes, it may have some validity in the Middle East and truth to it that pushes back against feminism. I'll be honest, I'll admire that, but it only works in the Middle East. Saudi, freaking Oman, all that stuff, Sudan, but America's different, freedom of religion, but yet you're still pushing that. So not for nothing, you're not making your case strong there, and you're not answering Alex Jones's thing. He's like, oh yeah, with Sharia we'll do it that way. However, you're not confirming or denying, even though you're indirectly confirming, yeah, Sharia law's the way. No, not everyone is. Islam wants to be Muslim, just like it is with Christian. It's mostly secular, but those two are kind of fighting, it seems like. From this whole argument, I'm getting the impression that both sides are kind of fighting for majority of religious influence and power in the West, let alone America. But despite a lot of people walking away from Christianity and whatnot, it still holds a prominent majority. And I'm going to be honest, this is coming from a pagan. I would rather just the Christians, not saying they're all angels and everything, and they have already kind of... I'm not going to talk too down on this, but the Christians aren't a box of chocolates, and they're not complete pleasant or so, but at least even with the more fanatical Christian, you're just going to catch a pastor, a preacher, a street preacher just at the most fanatical wise, yell and scream and get all energetic in that, versus one of the ones that happen to be a more fanatical Islam, that could be a little more scary and dangerous. So in the whole Sharia law thing, which is more indirectly communistic and more, should I say, assertive compared to that, other than like the Salem witch trials. We all know that was bad in that they had their issues that would probably compare them to the two, but I would rather deal with a majority of Christians than I would with a majority of Sharia radical Islamist or fanatical Islamist compared to more fanatical Christians, because when they get fanatical, they just preach and yell, and they're easy to just ignore and avoid. My 2 cents. Both sides I disagree with, but I will say which one's less of a problem to walk by, deal with, etc.
Why OnlyFans is rampant. Free will is why feminism is here. Free will is why the body count for the average 20-year-old girl is equivalent to her age.
Are you against free will?
Well, look, if you want to have some sort of conservative law, if you want to have a birth rate problem, don't cry about the birth rate and then say Sharia law is horrible.
I'm not talking about law. I'm talking about free will in general, being able to have your own freedom.
Of course I want free will.
Freedom to be educated, informed, and touched by God, by the Holy Spirit, by Jesus Christ, to then be a light and salt in the world. To say free will creates evil, well, that's because free will, you can choose good or evil.
No, I'm saying liberalism creates evil.
Free will is the great gift God gave us, part of consciousness.
Yeah, I'm not against free will, Alex. You're not understanding what I'm saying. Liberalism is why the birth rate's declining. And then people like you love to have a boogeyman and say Muslims are taking over, even though they're 1.3% of the population. This is not.
Dude, you're 2 billion people. You're expanding. You're having more kids than anybody.
Yeah.
And the thing
yeah.
is,
So maybe you should take
over.
Oh,
you
great
say
point.
You're taking over.
Great point.
Listen, just because we're sick and a parasite is coming in, a Stone Age, monotheistic religion that enslaves women, and that I'm supposed to then embrace you. I'm supposed to embrace you as the answer.
Women in America are slaves to Jewish supremacy, telling them to open up an OnlyFans. This is what is the dominating ideology here.
And I oppose that, and I publicly speak about that.
So then maybe take a page out of our book. There's 2 billion Muslims.
We're discussing Islam right now. You want to talk about Israel? Let's go.
No, I want to talk about the birth rate problem. And this is all tied in because you're so afraid of Islam. Clearly, we're doing something right if we figure out how to have children and you guys can't.
Well, and you even have higher birth rates in the West because you go sign up for welfare and become welfare queens and sit around in your nightgowns all day.
I mean, they never talk about the welfare happening in Lakewood, New Jersey, where they are having their own hospitals.
The Jews are milking it too, the Orthodox Jews.
Absolutely, and that doesn't get talked about. I mean, look, Tyler Olivera.
I talk about it.
The other guy, what's his name? Tyler, Nick Shirley, he gets invited to the White House for exposing the fraud in Minnesota. Tyler Olivera exposes the fraud in New Jersey, and he gets banned from Israel, and nobody talks about it.
Let me ask you this about Islam. What about the marrying first cousins over and over again, and the fact that very small percentage of Muslims
cousin marriage is allowed in the Bible, too. Look, more boomer slap, Alex. Cousin marriage is allowed in the Bible. You know that? There's so many similarities between Christianity and Islam.
The Old Testament. There's a new covenant. So you support multi-generational first cousin marriage?
I support Islam, and we have far more in common.
Having 2 eyes on the side of your head like a flounder?
Most of the incest is coming from people that want to keep their ethnicity the same, that think that they can't spread, that they have to be within their own. Incest is rampant within Israel. It's not rampant in the Muslim world.
That's a lot of their paranoia and mental illness. And so Islam has that with royalty and with Judaism, a lot of inbreeding.
You still haven't answered what is going to be the solution to fix your birth rate. What are you going to do?
Well, and what's the solution for you to fix the record number of deformities in Pakistanis and others?
That's completely. You're just echoing more. You're just repeating more slop.
So you endorse first cousin marriage, even multi-generational.
So you're Christian. Cousin marriage allowed in Christianity.
I mean, I know it didn't do.
If you want Christian law, you agree.
That's a problem.
You're acting like Christianity and Islam are very different.
We have to tell people in West Virginia, hey, quit screwing your sister.
I knew this was going to go down the route of theological religious debate after a while. I saw a couple clips of that. Either way, I digress. Why I'm a based pagan. Both sides have their shortcomings and, aren't the best. But like I said, I'd rather deal with the Christians. I'm going to be honest. At least the Christians, for the most part, don't go out and try to, physically pick fights and that. Now you have random crash out crazy brain damage person that's probably a schizo. However, that's not going to be the majority or even a smaller minority of ones. But they have their issues in cults and little sects as well that have their own problems and issues and cause problems and issues. Similar to, yes, Islam too, but which ones are causing a lot of the problems, not only in the West in general, like America, but Western Europe?
Okay. Are you
So
gonna?
hold on a minute. Hold on. You endorse multi-generational first cousin marriage.
I just answered your question like 3 times. I support Islam. Islam is good. We have a solution.
So is it good that Muhammad married the 9-year-old?
Is it good that Rebecca was married to Isaac at the age of 3? This is in the Old Testament. Is it good that you can go pay 50 shekels for your rape slave in the Old Testament because you believe that?
Is it
okay that you can rape a woman and then she become your
Yeah,
wife?
see, I knew it was going to go down this route.
Perform circumcisions with their teeth? No.
Okay, but all this is also part of Christianity. That you're acting like there's all these differences and it's not.
No, the New Testament is a new covenant and changes the Old Testament. There's a new covenant in the New Testament where we don't have all that.
Yeah, but you also acknowledge that this is part of your religion, part of your faith.
Under Islam, you follow the Old Testament.
You follow the Old Testament too. This is part of. Do you not know what Christianity is?
No. But you specifically say it's just as important as the new.
No, we don't. We say it's been corrupted. We say that rabbinical Judaism.
By the way, you say Jesus will return at the end of the world where we all fall asleep and die. That's not what the Bible says. But you do not say Jesus is the Son of God. So you're not saying Jesus is the Messiah. That's not true.
Jesus is the Messiah. He's not the Son of God. He doesn't have a dad. His dad is not God. Do you want to talk about something real? Okay, look at how upset you got about me saying, Inshallah, the world becomes Muslim. There was a Jewish celebration for the Antichrist in Times Square last month, the day after the Times Square prayer. Maybe you got upset about that. They're chanting, we want Mashiach now. Do you know what the Mashiach is?
Why do the Muslims block highways and do their prayers?
I can't even answer. I can't even make a point without you misdirecting. Is your whole thing just confusing the conversation constantly so nobody can make any sense?
I'm not confusing the conversation.
Is that your whole thing?
Saying.
Every time somebody gets to a point, you
say
just say chai coms and something else so that nobody can make any sense?
You brought up chai coms.
Okay, I'm saying something and you immediately just don't want to listen. You just immediately
just say your point, man. We get it. I'd be like, okay, now let me finish my point here. See, it's like, yeah, you're arguing with it, but for real, bro, just say it and then see if he tries to turn the point around and come up with something else. Now, his debate skills are not showing that good here. He didn't get to the question and re-ask the question. He even said, go ahead, ask it. Now, I will say he may have done that there, but he was like, okay, my bad. Go ahead, ask the question.
Tell me about how sweet the Muslims are. Go ahead.
I'm not. I'm talking about the
We love our Somalis. We love our Muslims too. Oh, they so good. Oh, they so sweet. I'm gonna stab your daughter at the mall. Woo! Gonna stab your son, your wife. And then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis. We love our Muslims too. Oh, they so good. Oh, they so sweet.
Okay. Oh, man.
You don't hate me.
Sneako.
You want to hate me. You want to demonize me. I don't know what it is, but come on, man. We're not that Christians and Muslims. We're not that different, Alex. We have a common objective. We want Jesus to return.
Yes.
We do.
Lower your defenses. We mean you no harm. Don't. It's like Mars attacks. Don't run. We are your friends. They're like, wait.
You're the one. You're the one calling for me to get deported. What? I never called.
I told you that was rhetorical.
It was more. It was retarded.
Retarded.
That was stupid. Like, you can't just say something and then backtrack completely. The entire frame of this conversation is based on.
He ruled a planet called.
What does that even mean? Like, what does that even? What do you mean? So you're just saying nonsense knowingly? You're just saying slop to get people enraged and spread fear mongering intentionally?
Sneako, I did 4 hours before
goodness.
this. I'm doing this to you. You're coming on my.
Are you drunk right now?
No, unfortunately.
What was that? What was that?
Unfortunately.
That's iced tea. And some.
Come on, you put a little bourbon in there.
No, it's iced tea.
You've been working
Guys,
out.
Bring me the Rudy's iced tea. If anybody's down here out of the thing, I actually want some more of it. It's non-sweet Texas iced tea.
Are you on Ozempic?
Nope.
No. You got
No,
healthy
I'm
out of
on
nowhere.
it.
You lost some weight. The bald look is not bad on you.
I got fat. Thank you. I'll do it. This is what I'm on. See this? This is not what you get.
Iced tea is good. I
I'm
fucks
not
with
really a
iced
whiskey
tea.
guy either. Back when I used to drink, that's how I've lost so much weight.
You're sober
I'm on
now?
I'm on not drinking. That's what I'm on right now.
You're not cloned, right? You got to beat the cloning allegations.
And I got this too. Topo Chico. Mineral
Sparkling water. Yeah, you played
I like
that clip of your friend Andrew Tate saying that I tried to have sex with him 4 years ago, and then he continued to do streams with me for 4 years. What was that all about?
Well, you did say that you thought you were gay when you were 14.
You said that you thought Blair White was attractive and that God works in his...
See, he's trying to turn it around, but he did say that in one of his clips. He did say that, which was really strange and weird. I don't know what all is with that. Maybe he was a kid trying to be funny. I don't know. However, not for nothing, not that I have really anything against it. It's like, if you are, just say so. It's a free country. You're not gonna freaking... Okay, I digress.
serious ways and that your genetics thought that that was a real woman. I was saying that this is from a comedy podcast clip from when I was 14 years old.
My main show,
You're clipping up from when I was 14. You're the one saying you were bricked up from Blair White from this man. If you want conservative values, why are you getting horny from this from a transgender?
I've never. I was explaining that why are the transgenders saying it's a woman when they dress like big fat demon clowns to take over the thing of women?
Your phone background was Blair White in a bikini. This transgender man.
Well, I'd never been with her in a bikini. She was on the show, and I said, I understand there's some men that feel like they're women, and I know there's chemicals that bend
you see,
genders.
you empathize. That sounds kind of woke of you. That sounds a little bit leftist.
That's why I had Blair White on like 12 years ago when he first transitioned, and I said I thought it was destructive, but I don't hate those people individually.
Oh,
Blair
you
White
champion LGBT. That's good.
No, Blair White.
You're an
is
LGBT
not
champion.
I'm not going to throw Blair White off a building. I'm not Islamic. But the point is that you're not letting me talk. You're like, oh God, Blair White, we got this secret
No,
thing.
it's good. You support trans people.
No, what the point of having Blair White on is Blair White says keep away from the kids, don't have it in schools. I've been at a comedy club before with Joe Rogan when Blair White, uses the men's bathroom. And my issue is that the chemicals in the first month of the embryo forming, atrazine, doesn't just bend frogs or birds or other things, but mammals, it actually changes cells in the brains. So people literally become hermaphroditic in their brain structure and in their bone structure. So
That's interesting. Taken. I heard of similar things too. I know it's chemicals in the brain and that, but I didn't hear that was one of the causes or the chemicals atrazine. That's very interesting. I never heard of that one. But, well, I heard it was chemicals, but I didn't get the name atrazine until now. W. Alex on that one. Shit. Either way, I'm digressing. I'm just saying that, yeah. Learn something new every day.
They're not really female, but it bends them that direction. I've said give them testosterone to bend them back and growth hormone. Like when you have a midget, give them growth hormone. Or if they have acromegalia, you can block that or do a surgery in the pituitary. So I was saying that it really is people are being born like this because they're being bent by the chemicals that are in all the studies. The atrazine alone at allowable levels bends our genders. And I was saying that you're not an ugly, gross, horrible goblin man who's actually attacking women's spaces or trying to be in women's sports, and that I don't single out people like you that really think they're a woman. I don't think you're a bad person because I do not want to throw homosexuals or trans people off of buildings. I do not believe they should be killed under Islam. And so you're right. But you act like you found some
you
big
champion the
secret
LGBT. That was, I mean, imagine if you dedicated 1% of that energy about transgenders towards getting rid of Jewish supremacy in America. Man, we would be so much further.
Man, well, listen, I'm against men and women's sports. I'm against recruiting kids in schools. I fight that. I spent a lot of time on that because the system was pushing it. And then I spent a lot of time on Islam, a lot of time on Israel, a lot of time on China.
Yes, it was. And the man and women's sports shit was definitely very bad. Nah, I'm sorry, but that's a big no-no. Poor girls got messed up, especially like on similar things with just volleyball. That poor volleyball potential star that couldn't finish up her career because she got injured all the hell really bad by that big spiked ball, like, where you spike it in volleyball. She got messed up from that and couldn't perform or get back into that was like her dream to be a volleyball sports athlete, and she couldn't do it because a transgender fucked her up. Poor girl. I digress, though. Luckily, we cracked more down on that, but of course, commie-crats are not letting that one go that easy. Luckily, some states have said, fuck it, no, we're not doing it. About time. Here's hoping it stays that way even after Trump's term is up.
A lot of time on people being lazy, people not being hardworking. I mean, I cover it all, dude. I'm on the air 4 hours a day. So I don't know what you're talking about. You jump around here. I've always said I don't hate homosexuals. I don't hate trans people. Okay, I don't sit there and judge them for that. Okay, that's the media goes, Alex is a right-winger, homophobe, blah, 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 blah. I am a populist, conservative, Christian, but I don't hate people. Listen, here's my deal. It's just as big a sin that I lust after women. It's just as big a sin that in my life I've been very promiscuous. I've done sins way bigger than gender bending. A lot of people didn't have a choice. When I was younger, the left always goes, God, he admitted this. He's a hypocrite. He's against abortion now. It's like saying I committed a murder, and then I went to jail for it, hypothetically, and now I'm against murder. When I was younger, I believed it was a blob of tissue, and I paid for probably 6, 7 abortions I know of by the time I was like 18. And then I repented of it and stopped doing it, and the next time I got a girl pregnant, I got married to her and had 3 of my first kids. So that's how that is. And I said, I'm not judging people that have had abortions. I know you got tricked or you didn't know. You need to soften your heart, repent and say you're sorry, and now save others and give money to groups that tell women that they can pay to help have them have their kid and have it adopted. And I've donated money to that, and I've done that to reprove myself in front of God. And I've told the story.
That's admirable and respectable. I admire that. That's a good alternative than just trying to ban it in general, which is easier said than done. Having the alternatives, clinics and that to take them in, like the baby when the mother of the child doesn't want the baby and can't abort it. That's a way better alternative there, other than just orphanages and going that route. I admire and respect that. That's a good little alternative there that he's mentioning. I heard about that too. That's something we could use more of, but that's within the government wanting to spend the taxpayer money on that, which is a way better alternative.
Of how I killed 6 or 7 of my children, and it tears my guts out to now know what I did, so that people that have done that don't have to harden their heart and can understand there's a way out of it, and that God will forgive you for it. That's the same reason I've had Blair White on a couple times.
You killed 6, 7 kids?
I said why in the show,
you
and
killed,
people took it
you killed
out of
6,
context.
7 kids?
Yes, I've murdered I think it's like 6 or 7 of my children now. I'm a murderer.
Yeah, you kind of sound like a jihadist terrorist that you're afraid of. Killing 6, 7 white babies?
No, I mean, when I was promiscuous and like 15, 16, 17, 18, I got girls pregnant, and then sometimes I'd give them the $300. I'd take them to Planned Parenthood, once I had a car. And then one time when I was 18, my dad was in my room and found a Planned Parenthood receipt for $300, and he said, quit killing my grandchildren. And he said, by the way, you're getting out this week. I had a job, I had money. He literally said, I'll help you get an apartment. He co-signed it. I was out of the house in 2 days, and my dad didn't talk to me for 6 months. And then I had nightmares about it. I realized it was wrong, everything else. And then I stood up and I protested hundreds of times in abortion clinics, and I've supported anti-abortion groups, and I've stood up for the right to life groups. I've exposed the baby organ harvesting.
You know that would have never happened under Sharia law?
I've been a sinner.
Yeah, but Sharia law isn't incompatible with America, and it never will. Now, are you either pro-constitutionist or Sharia? If you want Sharia, then you're going to have to go elsewhere for that, Sneako. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. We're not having that. And even your friends that we both know who are also of the Muslim Islam belief said, yeah, it's not compatible with America, like it or not. Stop this entitled liberal communist entitledness. It's not happening. And there will be people that are going to fight back and say it's not happening, and we're not going to allow that. Go elsewhere if you want that. Not for nothing. I know, like, I'm neutral about it. I'm pro-choice for the most part, but we should have better happy mediums, like what Alex Jones is talking about, like the centers, the care centers, the clinics and that to take them in, other than just orphanages. And we got to make sure those orphanages are good and they're going to teach them to be very good, civilized human beings and have a bright future, because that's a good alternative right there. But make sure we crack down on the scummy orphanages when they don't want to have the kids, and we got to promote more of the safe sex stuff. Luckily, when I was in school, I learned when I started getting promiscuous and whatnot. Always have safety nets involved so you don't go having kids randomly. Okay, besides the point, though.
And I've been wrong, and I've done things, and I've admitted I've been wrong,
Okay,
so that
that's
others
good.
that have been wrong
That's good.
can understand that they can fix themselves with God
good.
and with Jesus.
Okay, under Sharia law, that would have never happened.
Oh my God! I mean, there's Sharia law says if you just apologize later, if you're, it's all okay. Listen, here's the deal. I did this hour with you. I have got to go do headlines. I've got to go work on a bunch of stuff here with the new network we're building. But you said you're coming on my show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, what time do you want me to come on?
Hey, will you go grab Scott or
Also, when Ye went on your show...
Hold, Sneaky. What time? Noon Central.
Noon Central. Okay, I'll try to get up for that. Last thing, you said that Ye was on 5 hits of MDMA on the Tucker Carlson show when he went there and said that there's a lot of things he loves about Hitler. That's not. He wasn't on 5 hits of MDMA.
He was on something, that was for sure. I watched that pod, and Kanye West exposed himself. They had issues with narcotics and whatnot he was messing with, especially. He took it pretty hard when he got divorced from Kim Kardashian, that person in general. I'm not even going to get into that, but she's already a nasty piece of work herself. You know, not limiting his time with the kids and whatnot. And obviously, that really mentally messed with him, is why he got in the whole crash out and went crazy with the whole rants he was getting into that got him banned from his clothing stuff, and including the deal with Balenciaga, and Yeezy didn't want to work with them after that. Like, when all that happened, like, it's understandable. You lose your kids, have that big bombshell hit you and whatnot. Could have been more prepared, in my opinion. Got with a better woman to have your kids. His mistake. Hollywood propaganda, I digress. That messed with his head, too. Even though he had mental problems before that, let's keep it a stack. However, not saying I have none against them. Kanye West has and always will be a talented artist, but it definitely didn't help his case when all that was going for. That whole fiasco was going on after that. In that whole crash out era he was in. Glad he's recovering and doing better, though. Definitely shout out to him for that. Salute. But yeah, Kanye West doesn't fuck with him no more, so I'm surprised he's doing that. I admire that. He said he doesn't like or fuck with you anymore, pretty much. So he brought that up. Well, let me hear this. I didn't get to this part in my original stream on Kick. I digress.
I didn't say he was on 5 hits of MDMA. I said he looked like he was. He pulls up. First he gets there, and then we take him to this hotel, and he doesn't like it. So he goes somewhere else, and then he shows up 2 minutes before the show starts in a mask, as everybody saw.
So how'd you know he was on MDMA if he had a mask and you couldn't see his face?
Oh God, you just disproved me by interrupting.
But he had a mask on. How does he look like he?
You're not. Go ahead and tell me that. You asked me a question. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean, you did interrupt me literally the entire time, but
I know, but you just asked me to tell you a story.
No, I just wanted you to explain how somebody could look like they're in 5
2
hits
weeks
of MDMA
ago,
with
I
a mask
said
on.
Ben Gavir, when he's beating up Flotilla women and men, on camera, looks like he's on 5 hits of ecstasy. He always does. He looks completely psychotic, megalomaniac. I don't think he's actually on 5 hits of MDMA. What I said about Ye was, I'm telling the story. He pulls up 2 minutes before the show. He gets out in a mask. He has a net and a Yahoo chocolate drink, net and Yahoo. And he says, I'll just wear it for a little while. I said, fine. He comes on. He does like 3 hours. Then he wasn't going to eat. He goes, I haven't eaten in a day. I'm fasting. Later he goes, I got to have a salad. So we take a break. He brings in a salad. He pulls the hat off, and his whatever he was on were like just solid black. I mean, like pupils like in the conference room. And he looked like, and I was like, whoa. So, and he's admitted he's had drug issues before. Now, I didn't see him take MDMA. I was just guessing. And, okay, and I said it looked like he was on MDMA. Okay? So that's what I said. I'm not trying to be mean to him. I wasn't trying to put him down. He looked higher than a kite. And so that's what I said.
Okay. Let's leave on this.
I just talked about yay, Heil Hitler guy and everything. I mean, I don't give a shit.
Did you see everybody
Okay,
else?
I don't sycophantically, I don't think it's, used to call one of these long conversations. I said, sorry, dude, I can't have these long conversations. I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. A celebrity, none of it. I just tell it like it is. AlexJonesLive.com, Real Alex Jones on X. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Wait. I'm not going to come on unless you say that I should not be deported for exercising my free speech rights. Come on. That's an American value right there. I'm a real patriot for exercising my First Amendment and my freedom of religion.
Well,
yeah, it seems like when it doesn't benefit you, though, when somebody debates and calls out certain things, whether it be your religion or takes you had in the past you don't like in your past, I would say, videos and experiences, then you don't really like free speech that much, do you? Yeah, keep it concise and be consistent is all I gotta say. Like I said, I got nothing against them. However, Sneako, a lot of people, not just within Nick Fuentes' community, the Tates, Red Pill in general, just a lot of people in general, you shouldn't turn your back completely on that, and you should be more consistent is all I said. Like the whole Leith in the Wind debate and that whole thing there, I will just say really quick. My only thing is he just has to be consistent with it and be genuine and not fall into this whole social commie-crat thing. If you have to, you should leave New York a while, even if not in Florida. Go more to a better red state that suits your thing, which most likely is Florida. But if you have to stay closer, so maybe consider, I don't know, North Carolina or so, but in a more metropolitan area that at least has way less liberal woke people and socialists there, or Georgia or so. I don't know. Florida's way better than New York. A lot of people from New York have gone there and they don't want to come back. So either way, even if you're not in Miami, go to Fort Lauderdale and, you know, be around that. So you're at least around all the space stuff and you're not letting that poison go into your mind where because obviously you're not good at deflecting it and repeating socialist, communistic policies and whatnot of your favorite mayor, Mandami. That's all I gotta say, with respect.
Under Sharia law, it bans most of our speech and creates a monotheistic tyranny. And so
Well, I never said I said I want to practice American values. I believe in the Constitution.
I think anybody trying... Well, I already told you that it was rhetorical, just like when I said Piers Morgan. And I think if you don't like how America is, you want to impose, I think you should self-deport to one of these Muslim dreamlands. What? Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Self-deport. Again, too, maybe talk a little bit about how Elon Musk is on the Epstein files. Remember when he said that Trump was not releasing the Epstein files?
Have that. Listen to me. I literally have a bunch of work to do.
Oh,
so I'm not.
Okay, go ahead. You told all your story times about Blair White. I'm going to hear and say Elon Musk said that Trump was not releasing the Epstein files because he was implicated in them. Then he shows up with a black eye doing the Illuminati black eye ritual, and then he goes back on the Trump team. That's weird. And now he's amplifying you trying to deport me. That's anti-American.
Did you know? Okay. Let me just answer that. You'll say I got off here to not answer that. About 6 months ago, I'm in a hotel room. It's dark. You forget where you're at sometimes. I wake up and take a piss, and I walk into a wall and cut my nose and kind of bruise my eye. And then when I get back to Austin days later, I never put makeup on for the show except this.
Be a second.
Oh my God, they'll say I'm an Illuminati ritual. My eye is black.
I'm back. Sorry about that, Nomad Pack. I had to piss bad. I had to take a piss.
My God, they'll say I'm an Illuminati ritual. My eye is black and my nose is cut. People get black eyes.
That's not the important part of what I said. It's the Epstein files.
Hold on. I was just addressing the last thing you said. Oh God, I'm dodging again. We can spend an hour on this tomorrow, and I'm not Elon Musk apologist, so that position you put me in is not who I am.
Kind of sounds like it.
I'm saying, boom, back to the same bullshit. So what I'm saying is this. He comes out and says Trump is in the Epstein files back in June or whatever, or before
25. June 2025, yeah.
Yeah. So I then say this is terrible. Then Trump goes from saying release it to a cover-up. I've exposed that. He was known Mossad. I was one of the first ever exposed.
Yeah, Elon Musk was in there.
And then Elon is not on there. Elon is not on there.
He was all over the emails. He was trying to go and have the craziest party.
So
He wanted to let
listen,
loose.
You're not letting me finish, man. You asked a question.
But you're saying things that are incorrect. He was emailing Epstein saying he wanted to go to the craziest party. He wanted to let loose. He's been really stressed.
You're not. I haven't even gotten to this yet.
You're telling a story about the hotel room and a frog before you could just, like, you got a little.
No, you brought up that crazy.
He's got TikTok brain, Alex. You need to concise your argument better to apply for the Gen Z TikTok brain rot. That's what it is. All jokes aside. I'm just saying, though, yeah.
Schizophrenic thing that anytime somebody has a black eye, it's an Illuminati ritual.
Okay, that's the least important part of what I'm saying.
I know. You said it, not me, buddy. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
And then don't do another question at the end to keep me on here. That's another dirty trick. We can do 2 hours tomorrow if you want. You can say whatever you want.
But let's stay on topic because you went to a million things. Let's have specific topics.
We'll start with Epstein tomorrow. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I am in the Epstein files. Did you know that?
You were mentioned, but you weren't communicating with Epstein.
No, exactly. Well, I haven't got to my point yet. I wasn't defending Elon there. I was being attacked for attacking Epstein.
Yeah,
and I'm in the WikiLeaks with the Clintons and the globalists attacking me.
I know.
And I'm in all the secret FBI and Crossfire Hurricane and Arctic Frost.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know that, but of course he was attacking him, so they're trying to make it look like he may have some stuff to do with that besides cracking down, debating, exposing them or so, of course. I didn't know that part, though, I'm going to be honest.
And Obama put him under national security surveillance as a top threat because I'm not a Fed and I don't work for Israel and I don't get money from Qatar or anybody else. I am 1776. I'm not even MAGA. I'm 1776 Americana. Now, obviously, Elon was kicked out of the White House. Elon is not on that big AI board that Trump is on. Elon did get his head of NASA later. He got really upset about Doge not making the real cuts, getting run out, and he said, yeah, you're on the list, and you're going to cover it up, which Trump then did. There is Elon talking on there, because Epstein was the head of the Trilateral Commission. I didn't even know that until that stuff came out. I knew he was powerful, because David Rockefeller brought him in 1990 when he was 30, and he would stand in for David Rockefeller, the founder and creator of one of the most powerful groups. So Epstein wasn't just a super gopher. He was the main Rothschild representative, their ambassador to the world. And so everybody was talking to him. Everybody was dealing with him. And so I don't give Steve Bannon a pass. I don't give Elon a pass. I don't give any of them a pass, except with those guys, it's about political power, money, talking to the head of the Trilateral Commission. With Trump, he's actively blocking 3+ million more files coming out. So that is terrible. Epstein was Mossad. All that's bad. And I think Elon should respond to all of that, but at least he got pissed up front and said that. But him talking about, going to globalist parties or being around these elites and making money. Nobody's ever said Elon Musk raped anybody. Nobody's ever said Elon Musk is underage girls. Nobody's ever said any of that stuff.
I'm just saying,
I think he's trying to act like I'm not his apologist. I've just never seen anything there. But with Bill Gates, it's how do we get rid of the poor people? There's all this stuff about sex slaves being delivered to the hotel and eating people.
Right.
And we need to know those excise names. And I've been all over Trump about it. And I've broken with Trump over that. So,
and it's strange. Let me.
That's true. He has. We definitely just released the full picture and be done with it because he wanted to release it at first. But it is kind of suspect and strange that he doesn't want to crack down and release it already. And then his excuse was, "Oh, why we still care? Admire all the thing going on with Epstein, this big pervert. Why do we care?" You cared for a bit, but now that more of the stuff was getting exposed, then you didn't care. Let's be fair here. And as a person that voted for Trump 3 times and has been a little disappointed with his current team and administration, as of recently, I haven't been too happy, especially when he had to let some people go. Some of them had to go, like Pam Bondi. She was definitely not the best with that. I think when he hired Pam Bondi, he didn't do enough research there. Luckily, somebody else replaced her, probably a bit more better at the job than she was. However, some of the stuff I'm like, yeah, it is funny. You go to releasing a good chunk of it, but now you don't want to release more. That is a bit strange. But I digress. We already know a fair amount as it is right now. I would like to know more, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I will just say it's very strange. That's why we need newer, what Tucker Carlson, Kansas, and that want to do their own new political party. I would prefer independence and Elon Musk doing some good by investing in a lot of independents. But if we have to get a whole new party, as long as they had the foundation, the Constitution, and protection of that, pro free speech, which I know they are, and Second Amendment, then I'm happy and I'll go with that, even though I claim independent party. I will say I am open to a newer, better alternative. That's another thing I guess it's beneficial about being independent.
That somebody who was saying, Elon said he wanted to go to the craziest parties on the Epstein Island. He wanted to let loose and just go wild. Now he's all up in arms about Pakistani grooming gangs. I find that strange. That the guy who's saying Trump's covering up for the Epstein files is now pushing the slop that you're eating up.
They're exterminating the whites. I mean, I think he legitimately is for the West. He's pro-human.
No, he's
natalist.
not.
He's
bringing in H-1B visas. He's saying that white men are dumb and that he wants more Indian H-1B visas.
I think that was Vivek Ramaswamy.
No. I have the tweet right here. Elon Musk says white men are dumb. That's why he doesn't hire them to work for X. Look at his SpaceX team. It's all Indian. He's not pro-West.
He said white men are dumb. That's
yes. You want to see?
Wow.
Can I share my screen? You want to see before you leave?
Yeah, I want to see that. I don't agree with that.
Okay, I'll show you right here. I came with the receipts. Can you see or not?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not like the aficionado on Elon Musk.
Look at my. If you go to my stream, I have it right here. I'll send it to you. Well, I'll read it to you.
He said we're dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. White men aren't being hired anymore. Elon Musk says, "Yeah, we're just dumb." Allegedly, we're just dumb.
It's a joke. He didn't say white men are dumb. He said, "Oh, we're dumb."
Oh, it's a joke when it's Elon Musk, but when I'm at a World Cup game, I'm declaring jihad on America. I'm trying to conquer. I'm the caliphate.
Well, I'll give you your emotional. Okay, fine. You shouldn't be deported. Listen, my point is Vivek Ramaswamy.
He really wanted him to say that so bad, like Sneako. Okay, I'll give you your little you shouldn't be deported. See, even Alex just had to swallow his pride and say, yeah, fine, here's your, I don't want you to get deported. Now you're going to stop crying about it? Or whining about it?
Thing about lazy Americans. And certainly, statistically, there's some of that going on for any multi-generational, group that's had it too good too long. That's a well-known thing of people that are middle class or wealthy, they get decadent. But in general, it's an overstatement. It was kind of nasty. But no. Him responding and going, oh, yeah, apparently we're just dumb. I don't take it as that. But I'm not an apologist for him. AlexJonesLive.com is the new website with all the feeds and everything else, and Real Alex Jones on X. Sneako. I'm still banned on YouTube. I'm still banned on most places. I'm at rumble.com/The Alex Jones Show Live. I've got the whole system after me. I had federal judges find and state judges.
I was banned everywhere too, Alex, but I was one of the few that was reinstated. I got banned. I remember you made a channel, but YouTube reinstated. You want to know why? Because I said the Trump election was rigged in 2020. I was against the COVID vaccine. You're trying to call me a BLM wokey. I said the vaccine was going to cause myocarditis, and YouTube gave me a strike, and then they apologized.
Okay, well, we can have a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, you don't seem to understand. I've been doing this. I've been doing this. I've been banned everywhere, Alex.
We're going to get violent and tear stuff up. Let's make sure it's political. I don't believe in offensive violence. Listen, I'll see you tomorrow, Sneaky.
Hey, come on, Alexis, say my name.
Alexis?
You call me Sneaky. You call me Sneaky. Let's say my name correct.
Sneako? Snicklets? Snooper? Snycotic? Is it Sneako?
Yeah, there you go.
Sneako the Pinko Islamo.
And leave the Muslims alone, man. I mean, Trump's putting a target on these Somali kindergartners for wearing hijabs. Leave them alone, bro. I mean, did he not kill enough girls in Iran at that Manab school with the double-tap Tomahawk missiles? He needs to attack.
I was against the war.
He doesn't need to...
Yeah, same. I get that part. Me too. That was definitely not a good look with the Trump administration killing that one, I guess, military guy that was with Mashama Kalemi. I can't get the name right, but the original spiritual leader in Iran when he was going after, when apparently in that one children's school. That was mess up, especially with 2026 technology, and that's like, okay, you got one soldier general or so, even though that didn't really help when they were launching the ballistic missiles at our allies and shit. It's like, okay, we killed the guy, but you also got some innocent kids in the process. I will say that was a big L and oopsie on our part, and it was way more trouble than what it was worth. And then I will say that was in very bad taste. It was fucked up, and it definitely didn't make us... A lot of countries aren't too fond of us in general, but I will say that definitely doesn't help.
Apologist.
Like,
there
was just a terrorist attack. These white nationalists, these Mexican white nationalists.
I'm not Islam's apologist.
These Mexican white nationalist cat boys just tried to shoot up children in a mosque in San Diego. They just tried to shoot up a mosque in San Diego, and there was a martyr that stopped them from doing it.
Oh my God, that was like 9 angles. Weren't even white guys.
Yeah, they were. I read the manifesto. They're Mexican white nationalist cat boys. So
Durka Muhammad Jihad.
Well, it's stuff like that is getting people hurt. If you want to see people hurt,
I like your balls.
You know.
I was gonna do a jihad on his ass. You should come to Austin. We should do Mystery Science 5000 and watch Team America together.
I'm up for it. If you just stop, don't be disrespectful to Muslims, man. I didn't say anything about you.
I'm just being honest. I mean,
no, you're not. You're being rhetorical.
What do you want me to tell you? I'm your friend, like the Quran says, and then stab you in the back?
Quran doesn't say that. I'll be friends if you want to be friends. I think Christians and Muslims can be friends, man. We can be friends. We both love Jesus. We both think he's returning. We both believe in the Immaculate Conception.
Do we all die after Jesus comes back?
Do we all die after Jesus comes back? There's a day of judgment, but he's gonna.
No. We all die when Jesus comes back. We all just go to sleep.
Not immediate. No, it's not how it happens.
Durka. I'm not being mean to the Muslims. It's fun. Hey, how about I become a Shiite with you and we take swords and cut our heads and for 8 hours I just marching like
that's wrong. That's wrong.
Wow.
Or I could be a megachurch Christian with Kenneth Copeland drinking my blood. I could be with Erica Kirk shooting fireworks off my ass and twerking. You want me to do that? You want me to drink blood with Kenneth Copeland on a stage, fly around with like Louboutin shoes?
I get it. You got sects of Islam that are crazier than others, just like you got Christians, with rattlesnakes.
Yeah, so don't use...
Yeah, true. He's trying to be a smart ass there, but yeah, that's true on both sides. Just like among other people's thing too, it's just really whole fiasco there. Okay, I digress, though. Let me finish.
Small minority to demonize 2 billion people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Weasel from Connecticut, the mighty Mongol, the amazing, all-powerful, sneaky...
Allahu Akbar!
Sneako!
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Hey, I'll give you this, though. You getting in the ring with the middleweight heavyweight champion, you did take a lot of punches.
Could he knock me down, Alex?
I got to give that to you.
Did he knock me down, Alex? No, he didn't.
I was getting tired watching it.
So if Sean Strickland, UFC middleweight...
You don't even have a brain.
So what makes you think you can deport me?
You have a brain to
so
be
what makes you think you can deport me if Sean Strickland can't knock me down, huh? You can't stop me. I'm coming.
I know. Then tell me. I'm coming. Durka Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar!
Takbir! The women.
Takbir!
The slavery that we take the women as sex slaves. And
inshallah, you become Abdul Alex Jones.
Trying to crash out freak Alex Jones. Nice try, buddy.
Sneako, we'll see you.
Salam alaikum, Alex.
Live.com is where we begins.
Salam alaikum, Alex.
Assalamu alaikum. Marry your cousin. It's so much fun.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm glad they ended off on a positive note for what it's worth, though. That was funny. Well, you already know. Give me your last thoughts and comments on that one. That was just that conversation was a little more fun than it was more debatable type of situation. It was a little all over the place, but it was still fun to watch, and they had mostly on Alex Jones' side, but they had their points and good points. Sneako, not so much in my own personal 2 cents, but you know, I think that's just a lot of New York fucking with his mind. The liberalism in New York. Just like with people in California. I digress. You already know, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Catch you all next time. Much love, Nomad Pack. Peace.